It's fascinating, right? Because you've got Remy and Papoose, this hip-hop power couple, and they've built their whole image on this really strong relationship.
Yeah.
Especially Papoose, always the devoted husband, stood by Remy's side, through thick and thin.
Right.
And now this throws their whole image into question, doesn't it?
It's like the entire foundation of their public image is just like shaky.
Yeah.
And then Claressa Shields just drops this bomb on social media.
Oh, yeah.
Saying that Papoose is the father of her child.
I mean, the internet just exploded.
It did.
And what's interesting is, instead of just denying it immediately, Papoose goes silent.
Yeah.
And that silence speaks volumes,
Absolutely.
It just creates this vacuum where everyone is speculating about what's happening.
And Remy's reaction is almost like a masterclass in how to control a narrative.
Yeah.
Even though it's so messy.
Right.
It's like, first these vague Instagram posts about betrayal and disloyalty, but it's obviously about Claressa and Papoose.
It's a really good tactic, even though it is kind of manipulative.
Yeah.
Because she's keeping herself front and center, even though she's not really addressing the situation.
Right.
And she's sparking curiosity. People want to know what's happening.
And then she gets more direct, calling out women who go after married men.
Right.
And then she goes in on Papoose,
Yeah.
saying that he takes more than he gives.
It's interesting because it seems like she's really trying to make herself the victim.
Yeah, totally.
Shifting the focus away from whether he was unfaithful or not.
Yeah.
It's like she's highlighting his flaws. And then she makes this really pointed comment. She says that Claressa wanted Papoose and he's not a girl's girl.
Yeah.
It's almost like she's implying that this is a pattern for him, not just a one-time thing.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting.
So it's not just that Claressa came between them.
Yeah.
It's that he has this habit of cheating, and she's the one who got hurt.
Exactly.
But then we get another twist.
Yeah.
Leaked text messages, allegedly, between Claressa and Papoose start spreading online.
And that changes things a lot.
Right.
Because suddenly Claressa doesn't seem like the one who did something wrong.
Yeah.
In these messages, she's the one saying that she wants honesty and commitment from him,
Yeah.
begging him to stop messing around.
It makes you wonder if he, led her on.
Right.
If he was manipulating her.
That's the big question, yeah.
It really muddies the water.
Definitely.
Now everyone has to reconsider what they thought about Claressa.
Right, because was she trying to break up a marriage or did he trick her?
Exactly.
It's really unclear.
And Remy just keeps posting these mysterious messages on Instagram.
She probably saw this coming.
You think so?
Yeah, she had a plan all along.
Wow.
It's a risky move, but it keeps her in control.
Yeah,
Although it might seem inauthentic after a while.
that's true. And some sources are saying Remy has dirt on both Claressa and Papoose.
Oh, wow. So she might have known about all this and just waited.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's a good strategy, waiting for the perfect moment.
Or maybe she just wants to stir up drama.
That's a possibility, too. Keep everyone interested in the story.
Yeah, it's crazy. And just when you think it can't get any wilder, Papoose finally says something.
What did he say?
He puts out this statement saying he wasn't dishonest and that he didn't make any promises to Claressa. But then he turns around and says, Remy is the one who's lying.
So he's fighting back.
He is?
He's not just defending himself, he's attacking her.
Yeah.
Classic move.
And it gets even crazier.
Okay, what else?
He implies that Remy was the one who cheated.
Oh, wow. This is a complete 180 from their public image.
I know.
Remember how they've always been about loyalty and devotion?
Right.
And now he's saying it was all fake?
Yeah.
This changes everything.
And he says they haven't been living together for months, that he wants a divorce,
What?
and that she's just trying to get attention.
He's really trying to make her seem untrustworthy,
Yeah.
make it look like she's acting. But do you think people will believe him?
That's a good question, because people really bought into their love story.
I did.
So now we have all these accusations flying around.
It's like a mess.
It is. Who do you think is telling the truth?
It's really hard to say.
Yeah.
This is what makes this so interesting. It's not just like one person said this and another person said that. It's all about how social media can be used to control what people think.
That's true.
They're each trying to get people on their side,
Yeah.
convince everyone that they're telling the real story.
And we're all just stuck in the middle trying to figure out what to believe.
Exactly. It's like watching a really bad accident happen.
I know, but you can't look away.
That's it, exactly. Yeah, it's like the fairy tale has a really dark side. That happily ever after thing that Remy and Papoose always showed us.
Right.
It's falling apart.
It is. And it's weird how now a lot of people feel bad for Claressa. At first, she was the bad guy.
Right.
But then those messages changed everything.
Yeah, public opinion can change so fast with social media.
Yeah.
One day you're the villain, and the next day everyone feels sorry for you.
It's all about how information gets out there.
Totally.
And speaking of victims, I kind of feel bad for Claressa in all this.
Yeah.
She's getting a lot of hate for trying to break up a marriage and stuff.
It's always the woman who gets blamed, isn't it?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what really happened.
Right.
Now her reputation is on the line.
And we can't forget there's a child involved.
Yeah, that's the sad part.
It gets lost in all the drama.
This is real life, and it affects real people.
Yeah. And Papoose, I mean, he built his whole image on being the loyal husband.
Right.
And now everyone's like, wait a minute.
It's hard to keep up a perfect image when stuff like this happens.
Right.
People don't believe him anymore.
Especially after waiting so long to respond.
Yeah.
Now he's saying Remy was unfaithful too, and that he wanted a divorce, but I don't know.
It does feel a little desperate, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like maybe he's just making stuff up.
And Remy's playing this whole thing really smart.
She is.
She hasn't said they broke up,
Right.
but she keeps posting things online.
She's great at using social media.
Yeah.
She knows how to keep people interested.
But it could backfire if she goes too far.
That's true.
Makes you wonder if she's actually hurt or if this is just for her career.
It's hard to tell with Remy. She's really good at controlling her image,
Yeah.
but she's not going to let this ruin her, that's for sure.
So we have these three people all saying different things,
It's a mess.
and they're using social media to try and control what we think.
Yeah, that's what's so crazy about social media.
Yeah.
It can be used for good and bad.
It is exhausting keeping up with it all.
It makes you think, doesn't it?
About what?
About how we decide what's true online, you know?
That is a huge question.
It is.
I don't know the answer.
Yeah, me neither.
But this whole Remy, Papoose, and Claressa thing shows just how crazy it can be when personal stuff gets mixed up with social media.
It really does. It makes you realize that maybe we don't know these people as well as we thought we did,
Yeah.
and that there's a lot more going on than we see online.
So, what happens next?
That's a good question. Who knows?
I know, it feels like there's going to be another twist.
I think even if things calm down, this has already changed things.
What do you mean?
Well, it shows us that those perfect lives we see online aren't always real.
Right.
And maybe we should be more careful about what we believe.
It really does feel like a play, you know, all on social media.
Yeah.
Remy, Papoose, Claressa, they're like the main characters.
Yeah, and they all want us to feel sorry for them.
Right. And they're trying to make sure we see the story their way.
It's so interesting, right? Like how we present ourselves online these days.
Yeah, it's all about crafting the perfect image.
Exactly. Showing the best parts of ourselves, you know, the edited version.
And then something like this happens.
Right, and it all blows up.
It's like the curtain gets pulled back and everyone sees the mess.
And it makes us question everything, you know?
Yeah, like maybe what we see online isn't the whole truth.
Exactly, and that's true for everyone, not just celebrities.
Right.
It's easy to get caught up in that, thinking everyone's life is perfect.
I know, you see all the happy pictures and funny posts.
But behind all that, everyone's got problems and stuff they don't share.
And this whole thing with Remy, Papoose, and Claressa is a perfect example.
Totally.
We thought we knew them.
Right. Their relationship, everything.
But now it's like, do we really know anything?
It's like a reminder that we shouldn't judge people just based on what they show online.
Because there's always more to the story.
Always. It's like we're all detectives now trying to figure out the truth online.
It's a lot of work.
It is, but it's not just about finding out who's lying, you know?
What else is there?
Well, everyone has their own reasons for saying things, right? So we have to think about why they're saying what they're saying.
So not believe everything you read online.
Pretty much. You have to find different sources, you know, not just social media.
Like actual news and stuff.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to question things even if everyone else seems to believe them.
So basically, think for yourself.
Exactly. And remember that those algorithms, you know, the things that decide what you see online,
Yeah.
they love drama.
So even if something seems really crazy,
Yeah.
it might just be trying to get a reaction out of you.
Right. It might be playing on your emotions.
So it's like we need a whole new set of skills to understand the internet these days.
I think so. We need to be more aware of how information is presented and how it can be used to manipulate us.
So big takeaway from all this. What should people keep in mind after this deep dive?
Well, social media is really powerful, you know? It can change how people see things, good or bad.
Right.
So we have to be careful about what we believe and try to understand the whole story.
It's a lot to think about, but I think it's important.
It is.
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll be back with another story soon.